My name is Patrick Kingman. I go by Pat usually, except for my family. They call me Patrick. I was born on July 30th, 1977. And I grew up in a little town called East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I didn't start playing. My first year of organized football wasn't until 6th grade, which from that point on it's been every year except for one that I have been involved with football. My first high school coaching job was actually my practicum work when I was in college. That was at Walpole High School. That was in I want to say the 1999 season. From there, I coached at Oliver Ames for a year. And then that was in 2000. And then I took, about 8 years off of high school. I was in the college ranks for that time. And then I came back and I volunteered at East Bridgewater for a year. And then after that I came here to Middleborough. But the coaching bug has probably been in me for a long time. I mean, I spent more time drawing X's and O's in a notebook than I took notes or studied in high school. So I had a little idea about Middleborough. I mean, I'd been away from it for a while. I was out of the state for a couple years, but I remember as a kid growing up in East Bridgewater, that was our Thanksgiving Day game. So I remember going down to Battis and watching games then and seeing those teams in the in the mid 80s and stuff like that. The teams that had it rolling a little bit. That was kind of my idea of Middleborough football. And then you get the job opens up and you look around a little bit and you say, what happened? Like, where did it go? Where did the football program, how did it disappear so much? So I think anytime there's an opening in a football program, coaching wise, it's either, in my mind, there's probably two reasons. Either the coach is really old and it's time to retire, or the program's not doing very well and they're looking for someone to restart it.
Patrick Kingman was hired in the spring of 2011. He took over as head football coach for the 2012 season.
I think you have to come in when you're taking over a program that hasn't really had a winning tradition in a while. You have to come in and mark your territory a little bit. You might have to make some rules a little bit more difficult than you might be in year 5. You might have to be a little bit tougher on some of the players that that were in with the old regime, and you're trying to get you're really building from the ground up, and that was the whole process.
Coming in, I think I saw all the coaches that were interviewing. Never really thought much of him. Once he got the job, I think I met him at a lunch. He came to one of the lunches when I was a sophomore at the end of the year, spring at the end of the year, and I met him for the first time, and I had no idea what to expect. Seemed like a good dude. Seemed like he really wanted to be here, and he was really set on turning the program around, and you could tell he cared, and he wanted to win, which I can't really say that the coaches before really cared as much about winning as he did, really. He didn't know any of the people here, really, didn't know their skill set, didn't know who we are, didn't even get to name his own captains. Captains were named previous to the season before our old coach left, and there's a lot of figuring things out, really. Figuring out who we could trust on the field and off the field, and figuring out who really wanted to be on the field and play for him. So it was really a learning curve.
My first year, we went 2-9. I think we lost the first game, won the second game, and then we lost 8 straight football games. I'd never been a part of anything like that before, losing 8 straight games. But at the same time, I think that we knew that we had some younger kids and groups that were willing to work hard and put the effort in, that knew that we could be pretty good. Talking about that first year, we probably didn't have the best staff. We had some good people, or we had people that were pretty green. I had a young guy that was on staff who, if he was still here 5 years later, would be outstanding, but he was overwhelmed and I was overwhelmed, and we had O-line coach, everybody was overwhelmed, it was just like, whoa, this is happening, and the next, but we got together, and the next year it got better, and then the following year it got better. Our record didn't show it the third year, but we were a better football program. We were heading in the right direction.
Pat has been able to pull them together and kind of get them to believing as a group in what they could and should do and things like that. So he's really just gotten them to believe in themselves in the program.
Kingman brought in the right people, brought in the right coaches to interact, and guys from different towns who know the game, where before it was his first year and no one wanted to come to Middleborough. We were like a laughingstock at the Patriot League, and since he brought those people in, they really helped us in succeeding.
The coming out party was the prior season, so last year was it was 2013 down at Scituate. We were a 5-6 football team that year. We were playing Scituate for the last regular season game, and we still had a chance to make playoffs, even though we weren't really a playoff football team, And we went out there and we laid a goose egg pretty early. I think we were down big, I want to say 21-0, in the first quarter. And not that one individual player changed the whole thing, but we made a change and put somebody in a position that allowed us to do some things.
The most notable change is putting in sophomore quarterback Brendan Chipman.
It all started sophomore year when the varsity quarterback wasn't doing so hot, and the coaches needed to look for a change, so I had to step up and go in. I think that from that point on, I could tell that the coaches kind of believed in me, and they looked at me when they had problems, and I think it was up to me to figure out those problems for the team.
That loss right there sparked us into the following year, where we knew. I don't know if we knew we were going to be 10-1, but I think we knew we were going to be a good football team.
It seems like everything just started to click. I mean, the kids in the classes, as they came into high school, came right into his offense. They knew what they were doing. He knew them. They knew him. They knew how the plays were supposed to be ran, blocking schemes, everything. And they just got on the field, and everything started to make a little more sense. And you could see that maybe the tides were turning.
Goals is one of those tricky words for me. I think they're kind of phony. Most people set goals to say they're trying to do something, and they never do it. I've never set out to say, oh, we're going to try to get to a Super Bowl. We're going to win a league championship. That's just not the way that, as a kid playing, that I did things. I've just tried to make sure that we're in a spot to get better every single day and work hard and understand what it takes and when things get tough. And I think there's a greater responsibility as a coach than winning and losing.
This year, Coach Kingman received the Boston Globe Coach of the Year award.
I think the people that are always the proudest of you are your family. You win that award. My mother gives me a call up, and she's so proud, and you're like trying to blow it off a little bit and say, I don't really care about the award. I want to beat Holliston on Friday night. It's great, but let's talk about what's the bigger thing. But at the end of the day, for me now, things have changed. I'm married. I have 2 kids, and one's out there playing ball right now, and he doesn't care if I win or lose on Friday night. He just cares that Dad's home on a Saturday to hang out a little bit.